Now let's talk about forecasting. Because forecasting is where we get the distribution of uncertainties. You can get the distribution from almost any forecast. This one has a 95% upper and lower confidence interval. That leads to a bell-shaped distribution. And typically, so people will do this analysis and they'll create the distribution. And that's right, folks. They flush it down the toilet. That's what they do with it. They end up with a single number, and of course you know what happens next. So let me show you how we deal with this in probability management. You're looking at a SIP library. It was created using a forecast. I'm not even going to go into the details of it. Do you want to hear how the electricity was generated that's lighting the light bulbs in your office? No, you don't care. You just want to use the light bulb. So think of this as the electricity. It's going to contain 1,000 possible demands for this new product. It has metadata. So for example, the metadata tells us, oh yeah, the average demand is 100,000. And it tells us where the metadata is stored. Oh, look at those. Those are my initials. There's provenance. In other words, this is not just a distribution that the cat dragged in. And if I click the plus sign, boom, there are all 1,000 trials. Now I'm going to go back to this model, and I'm going to open the SIPmath tools. Now there's a free version of these out on the website, and everything I'm doing here I could do by hand in Excel, but the tools make it a lot easier, and they're free. So first thing I'm going to do is initialize my model, and I'm going to say select a library to plug into. I'm going to go to an external workbook, webinar, and oh, there it is, demand. So here's the library for demand for my product. Now I put the cursor in this cell, go to library input, ask for demand. Ooh, and there's a little distribution there. Look at that. Is that cute? That's called a Sparkline Graph in Excel. And we're now dialed in to all those 1,000 possible demands. So I can go to demand 2. It was only 75,000, by the way. Look at that. I only made $23,000 that time. Demand 3, I made my million. It's auditable. I remember number 9 isn't very nice. Because on trial 9, we only had 66,000 in demand, and we lost $325,000. So remember, you told the boss, this is basically, hey, I expect $1 million, and the boss is going to say, well, you didn't tell me about the chance of losing $325,000. Let's go back and look at the average here. There's our average, and what we see is that we make $1 million. Right. Now, what's happened here is that when I initialized the model, it created another sheet in back where the data table is going to put the simulation. And what I'm going to do now is put my cursor in the profit cell, define that as an output, click over here, and 1,000 trials later, ooh, there's another nice little graph there. And what this is showing me is that profit isn't bell-shaped at all. Profit is limited on the upside by $1 million. Now here's the cool part. There is now a range on this sheet named profit. That's a column of 1,000 parallel universes of profit. And that means I can go up here and I can type equals average of profit. So the profit of the average is $1 million. The average profit has got to be less, right? Because it can either go down from $1 million or be at $1 million, but the average is something less than $1 million, and $1 million has got to be less, but how much less? Oh my God, 600,000? So the profit of the average is $1 million. The average profit is 600,000. How do you run a business this way?